Hey everybody, welcome back to the internet where your cesspool is my jacuzzi. My name is Lauren Neidigh. I'm your Schnitzel Ninja and my friend Tiff. We're going to go over some of the lawsuit documents, the one against Ron Owens that came out yesterday. And then Tiff has like a whole bunch of stuff she's going to walk us through, which I don't understand at all. So I'm basically just going to sit here and I'm going to be like the idiot that she soundboards off of while she explains that to us, because I have no idea what we're, when it comes to finances and shit. I know how to work a credit card. That's about it. So,
you have as much knowledge as Laura.
I was gonna say, don't tell Ron.
Yeah, well, sounds about right.
Well, it's interesting because Mike had said before that Ron had like I don't know, is it like a black diamond card or whatever that like if you have one, you have to have a certain amount of money to have one. So it's kind of, like you're showing off if you're using it. But he said he would use it everywhere to kind of show off.
That sounds like something I definitely would never care about if I were Ron.
Right?
But, okay, it's fine. I mean, people with a lot of money care about weird stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's just like a card is a card. If I had that kind of money, I would actually probably just throw cash at people. It might be fun. But that's just me. All right, let me pull this lawsuit up first, which I'm getting it from the JFC Reddit. Hang on. All right. Okay, so this is by JP Morgan Chase Bank. And what is this for? Like, they're overdue on credit card bills. They haven't paid for what, like 6 months or something?
It depends. It could be.
It didn't say like specifically how long.
No.
But I after I saw this, I Googled like
how
long it would have to be overdue for them to like take legal action, and that it tracked with what this said. It was like it said it.
So it has to be 6 or more months. Is that it?
That's what I read online.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And it's a little different from a typical creditor lawsuit, in my opinion, just because they usually like get sold off to collection companies, and then that's who starts the lawsuit. So it's interesting that's the original creditor still.
Yeah.
Not to brag, but I understood the part about the collections. A little bit of a rough spot a while back. We're not going to talk about it. Anyways, maybe I am an expert, yeah?
You could be.
On the other end of it.
Yeah. Anyways, we have to be a little bit careful because Laura has gone back to reporting my videos for cyberbullying for all manner of things. And she got one of them taken down a couple days ago. It was the witness list one for sharing private information. I was like, this is a redacted public document. What the f are you talking about?
And it's a public document, exactly.
Right. But sometimes YouTube's system for that is like so bad. So when you appeal it, I feel like it just goes through another bot. So I'm gonna have to be like a huge Karen if I want to undo that. Or I can just re-upload it with like a blurred out document. But that sucks. So I haven't really decided yet. I'll deal with it when I get home tomorrow. But yeah, I don't want that to happen too many times, and then, well, we know what happens after that, and then I would have to be like a mega Karen, and that would be just like not a good look for me.
We would all become mega Karens if that happened.
Actually, I do kind of want to see that. All right,
would be a mega Karen army for you.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. Okay, let's see. So we're not going to read this like word for word. I just want to go through it a little bit. Ron Owens applied for and used or authorized an account for acquisitions of goods, services, blah, blah, blah. Okay, throughout the existence of the account, Ron received regular account statements. He failed to make the monthly payments when due. There was an account stated in the amount of $51,861.07. Okay. Plaintiff declared the account to be in default and demands payment of the balance. There are currently unresolved disputes, and the entire balance is presently due. All right. I've never seen anything like this, so I'm just kind of like, I don't know how much we really need to read to understand what's going on here, because it kind of sounds pretty.
It's pretty light on information, and it's
Right.
it's pretty standard. Usually they'll say like the time frame, but I think because they're activating the arbitration clause that they're not giving up too much information.
Got it. Okay. What is this here? I have to look at it before I show this next thing on the screen, because if it has any information on it, she's gonna go and cry to YouTube about it. Hang on. Okay, no, this is nothing. We don't need to look at that.
Yeah, it's just asking for a judgment if they fail arbitration,
Okay.
basically.
And this is it's just the summons, right? Okay. So I'm gonna pull that off the screen real quick, and then I'll let you pull up some stuff in a minute here because I know you have lots more to look at. Okay, so what was your initial thought, I guess, Tiff, when you saw that?
my initial thought was I called it a year ago. I knew that this would start happening. The patterns repeat and they hardly fail, right? Like if you see a borrowing pattern out of somebody and they do literally nothing to change it, eventually it's gonna collapse.
Starting to feel a little attacked here, but go ahead.
Right? Hey, no. Very few people are actually perfect with credit for their entire lifetime. It just doesn't, it's not real. So, when I saw this, I was Vindication. No,
I'm sorry, what was that?
right. I felt like again that everything that I had been saying for a year, and I think it's kind of like what you're saying, where she makes these accusations, and I know they're not true, but still, sometimes it gets to you, right? But I'm calling stuff like I see it, and then it happens, right? So pretty right on. And I think it just indicates that pattern of we've wound ourselves into this corner, and it's now we're desperation moves, right? Where everybody's defending the GoFundMe, everybody's sticking up for them wherever they can, right? And it's the hits are gonna keep coming.
Yeah, I mean, everybody at this point kind of seems like to be like 13 Facebook accounts, so I'm not really sure it's too bad, but and 4 of those are probably Laura, and then 5 of those are Laura on a different phone. So I just don't know. I don't know how much support they really have. But it's not nothing because he obviously had a decent reputation among some people, and they know nothing about his daughter. So this is kind of
and I think it's hard for people to see. Right, there's that confirmation bias where you want to see what you want to see, and that's what you'll direct yourself to, attention-wise. The interesting thing to me, and I don't know if we want to jump this fast off of the lawsuit, but the lawsuit's going to play out very boringly, like it's going to happen. So a lot of times, you get that email and it says, oh, we've upgraded our terms and conditions, and you'll maybe see something in there about the arbitration clause being updated. That's what they're doing. There's an arbitration clause in that credit card agreement that says that before either of us sue each other for a balance or a dispute, that we're going to sit down in a room and talk about it first.
Okay.
And try to come to an agreement. So that's all that is.
Okay.
And so we may never see anything out of it besides that a resolution was filed, right? We don't care.
No.
But
lame.
I mean, like, I know it is. It really is. A lot of stuff's boring.
It's fine.
But
I love mess. Where's the mess?
I think we'll see more.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll start to see some of those other situations unravel, like the GoFundMe. So I started what our conversation tonight started from was the other day I just started like going through all my old research just to like go through what I still had and what I needed to get rid of and stuff. And I was looking at the mortgages that they took out on the Scottsdale house over the time since they've owned it. And I realized like it was maybe over a period of like 26 months where they withdrew almost $850,000. I said to you it was 820 something. Actually, my math was wrong. It was 849 and some change. Gotcha. And that's a conservative number. It could be more, but at least around $850,000 in equity in that 26-month period leading up to the GoFundMe. Right? So, I mean, as recently as June of 24, they were taking out a new mortgage.
What happened in June of 24? I said, what happened in June of 24?
Yeah, right. So they have all this money that they've got taken out. Who knows what they've done with it? And then all of a sudden we're in desperation mode in what was it, New Year's that started? The GoFundMe?
I don't remember. Do you, Shinzo?
I heard New Year's somewhere today. I don't know
It
where.
was like December, like late December of 2024.
Okay, yeah. So pretty 6 months, right? 6 months later, we're starting to GoFundMe because we need more money. And apparently, I mean, if we're doing that math too, 6 months ago is when we stopped paying our Chase card, right?
Mhm.
So there's in my head, I'm like, why? Because everybody is concerned about the GoFundMe. I get it. I mean, in my opinion, it's adults donating and they're making adult decisions to donate, and the information's out there. And I'm sorry if you don't look for it. I don't feel bad. Like, if you want to donate, donate. I don't like it. I wish people wouldn't.
I feel irritated by that.
Right.
But yeah.
I don't think it's cool.
Not
I
really
don't think it's
treated
fair. I think it's
appropriately.
taking away from causes that could be, funded. But whatever. But then, like I said, that's when, like, all of a sudden my math and my research with the mortgages, I was like, why do they need money again so quickly after having taken out all that money over the last 2 years prior to? It didn't make sense. And if you look back again, if you go back to that San Francisco house, this pattern starts in 2005.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How did you figure that out? And like, why? How does it start there? Like, what happened there?
So they bought that house in, I think, 98. And pretty, pretty common pattern in the what we call a chain of title, the history of the property. You take out a house, or you get a deed on a house, you take out a mortgage, you pay on it over time. Sometimes you refinance it, right, to get a lower rate or whatever. But what we see in the Owens is that they aggressively start taking out higher mortgages and just literally tripling their debt. So, I mean, I think it's like, hold on here, let me look at let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mortgages
Mhm.
in a 10-year time frame, approximately.
Gotcha.
Maybe 15, but still, it's a lot of mortgages to keep. And what we also see in those patterns is that we're not borrowing from Chase Bank. We're not borrowing from, the credit union down the street. We're borrowing from Equity Trust LLC or 877 Cash Now kind of places, right? What we call hard money loans in my industry, that are typically for borrowers who are not eligible for typical standard.
And high interest, right?
Very high interest. Typically there are oh, it's fun. Sorry. Okay. Fireworks. Sorry. My dog's gonna freak out for a second.
Oh, I was about to say I didn't actually hear the fireworks with the dog. My
No.
yeah.
No, poor girl. She's on Prozac, but they still get her.
Omar's crashing out over here, I guess. So he says, first thing he says is summoning all lesbians from Vegas, because as we know, Omar's in Vegas right now with his children for some reason. Children. Okay.
Before.
And then you were talking about the money that they were borrowing, and I guess he says they're going to the Hub Fund, which, if you don't know what the Hub Fund is, Omar tried to convince everyone that I needed money from Pornhub for Pornhub Premium. And so people started sending me, I got like hundreds of dollars from people giving me money saying, get the premium in my Venmo account. I was like, I did not get the premium, all right? I'm defending that on something else. I'm not getting the premium.
More condoms.
I don't need more condoms.
Didn't you call them condoms?
You gave me the only condoms I will ever own because I don't need them.
I was gonna say, do you?
What's that?
I don't think you need them.
I could explain to everyone in great detail why I don't, but I'd rather not.
Right.
Vacationing in Vegas with kids is great. Are you high? Are you high right now? What's going on over there? I'm a little worried.
I like, for whatever dumb reason, had it on private chat still, so I wasn't even reading comments. Sorry, guys.
What is the Womanizer Pro Air? Do I want to know? Are you guys trolling me?
I'm a boring old lady.
Probably like a vibrator dildo something.
Okay, I could have guessed that, but
I don't personally know for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, the tipsy lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh god. How do we get here?
Bruce.
Dude, it happens every time.
No, it does absolutely, but I just never seem to realize how we arrived at this point.
Actually, I
How did
think
you-
it started with the dog.
That's
Yeah.
not how you want to introduce that scenario
No.
in the future. If you tell that story,
But, right,
Okay.
let's unwind that. Oh shit. So
all right.
anyway,
Anyways,
back to boring stuff, right?
yes,
No.
please. Yes, please. Okay.
So when it's all said and done, they sell that San Francisco. It's like one of those like full house kind of houses, right? I mean,
Mhm.
it has a view of the bridge. It is a nice place.
Is that why Bob Saget was one of the Godfathers or something?
Well, that's what Laura claimed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he
It
just
was
did
her-
an
that it was
interview
her
with
godfather.
Ron once, right?
And she told Mike that.
Of course she did. Yeah.
Wasn't it
Ye-
worth like, what was it, 3.1?
It was
something?
3.5. They
Okay.
sold it for 3 point. Actually, I'll tell you the exact number. 3.55.
Okay.
So 3,550,000 they sold it for. In my most conservative, generous to them estimate of math and where they were at with what they had borrowed against it and other fees they would have to pay, I believe they maybe walked away with 200,000. Maybe.
Yikes.
Yeah. And so I mean for a
Wow.
for a house they owned for 20 years, I think. 20 years. That's
That's not good.
wild. Right.
Yeah.
So and then we see like, okay, 6 months later, I think it was, they buy this place in Arizona and it's a conservative purchase. It's 950,000, right? It's not too much. They get a mortgage and a second mortgage because God forbid we put some money down. And
I'm sensing a
and
little
we're
judgment here.
starting out at 100%, right? Like can only go up from here. And but then like the market starts to explode, right? So values go up and they just like, oh, we'll take some more out, we'll take some more out, take some more out. And that's how we end up with an extra 800 plus thousand.
People really let you take the money out like that or do the money like that many
Well,
times? Like,
Again, we're talking about these I don't want to say sketchy lenders, but they're definitely a particular type of lender that will only, I mean, it's they're sketchy lenders. I mean, the one had like regulatory issues. I looked
shit.
it up.
Hmm.
Yeah, like pulling some stuff. So
They're like the ones that
Yeah.
usually will take advantage of people who need that hard cash right now for whatever reason,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
sketchy possibly reason. And then,
Yeah.
like you said, it's a high interest rate. So people just
Mhm.
kind of get fucked over by those typically.
Right. So like even if somebody's paying on it for a year, or whatever, and then they go into foreclosure, so they haven't paid down a lot, that lender has still made a good amount of money in interest over that time frame, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, in the Owens benefit column for that, I mean, it's deductible interest, so there's that, but that's not really I think a worthy enough reason to do it, but it was like I saw it and like they jumped like $600,000. They took 1.6 out and then another 200,000 on top of that. And it's like, but why? I don't understand people at that age making those decisions.
Yeah.
It's not for the long term.
Do you ever figure out any sort of speculation as to where that was actually going, or it was just like fund the lifestyle, or like?
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing I can think of is that it is funding a lifestyle. I do believe that they did take some money and used it towards that Airbnb purchase, although not a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, if we're being generous, maybe 80,000 of it would have gone towards that purchase, and maybe to float them over time. which is what I really think is happening. I think that they don't have enough money coming in, so they're floating themselves with this money they're borrowing. And again, that's where you see those patterns where they just collapse, and then you start getting sued by credit card companies because you can't. You got to make choices, and I understand it. You have to make choices.
Yeah, I mean, Echo says the Airbnb was a weird deal too. Could you like refresh my memory on that? Because I don't remember a whole lot surrounding the Airbnb thing.
Yeah, so basically the Airbnb is kind of like an off the book sale if you want to think of it that way. Where the Liz Max, the purchaser, just entered into like a written agreement that said, hey, within a 5-year period, we're going to pay you X amount of money for this place. And then if we don't have it paid off by that time, which they won't, we'll make a balloon payment and pay the rest. So in the meantime, Mr. Seller has a mortgage on that property. They have the fixtures are financed on that property. And what that means is the furniture, the appliances, everything in that house is leveraged. It is not owned by anybody. Right. The mortgage company owns it until they don't anymore, until they're paid off.
That sounds
they
like
own the income.
Oh, that sounds like a bad.
It's not what good savvy financial people do. It's not what people do when they have $450,000 in their money market.
I have a question.
Money market.
Right.
Have you? I know it would be hard to know the exact number, but have you sat down and figured out what you think Laura has spent in legal fees, say since Mike Maricini, which I guess she got that for free because they repped her for free, until so maybe Greg Gillespie, Sean Roanhorse, Clayton, whoever else we don't know about.
Right, because there are ones we don't know about, right? No, that is one, because that information I don't know how to get. Like, I know how to get what I found, right? And real quick, I do want to say I'm not a lawyer, number one. Number two, all of the information I'm talking about is available online for free to anybody.
I'm so getting reported for cyberbullying. But go ahead.
Right. It is online for free to anybody. I mean, some states and counties, they like charge you a fee per month to look at the information. Maricopa County says, here it is. You can have copies of everybody's signatures even. Like, we don't care. Yeah. So online for free to everybody. But the attorney stuff is difficult, at least for me. I know you can get court documents and stuff to locate what you know and kind of piece it together, but that's not my expertise, so to speak. So I haven't done that. No, I'm sure it's expansive, and I'm sure some of that money has gone to it.
Yeah, that plus the horses, plus whatever else. I mean, their daily spending of, I just wonder how, like if you're making a pie chart, like how that kind of fits into the.
Did you just say where did the money pie chart?
What?
Did you say baking a pie chart?
No.
You said baking a pie chart.
I think I said making, but maybe I sounded stuffed up.
Baking a pie chart. No, go ahead.
Baking a pie chart.
Hey, Rob says, I love Maricopa County for public documents. Me too. when I saw that those were right there in the open, I was like, yes. So yeah, she's got 3 years left on that agreement, so to speak, and we'll see how that plays out. It's kind of maybe for sale, but I don't think that's going anywhere either at this point. Because here's the trick. Let's say she does sell it. That means, so she can technically sell it. She can sell it, but she has to pay off the seller she agreed to pay, right? And then whatever money she got out of that sale, that's attachable to a judgment, right? So good luck, Laura.
Zach said baking a pie chart, and suddenly Lauren wakes up. I tried to respond, Zach, you bitch, but YouTube rejected my comment. Oh man, I guess I'm on their radar now. What can I say?
Somebody else brought up the value of that place in Arizona too. Yeah, it's actually not as hot. It's not as it's over leveraged right now. Yeah, it's got almost 1.8 million in mortgages on it.
That's so crazy. I looked it up, on Redfin last night, and it said like 1.6 something. So I know it,
Yeah.
varies
Yeah.
between sites. And
It
things
does.
like that.
Zillow used to be crap for that. They've gotten better, but yeah, that's about what I found too.
Mhm.
And I just looked it up before we came on.
So that's crazy. So if they're say roughly 200K over leveraged on the house or under, you know what I mean? Then like you said, the appliances and stuff, the fridge, the beds, the whatever. I wonder how much worth they have.
So that's for the Airbnb. That
that's for the Airbnb, not their house. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think that now, funny you say that though, because the Owens did take out that type of mortgage in 2022 before they added Sarah to the house and started having her co-sign. They signed that kind of mortgage where the lender owns all the fixtures and everything, but then they paid it off, so it doesn't attach anymore. But yeah, that was right before. I think it was a desperation move, and that's why Sarah ended up joining in and her husband and signing for a different mortgage. It's still not a great mortgage, but I think it's better than that one.
I cannot imagine
for about 6 months.
My child to do that. I can't imagine asking my child to do that.
No, I think I'd rather walk away from a house than do that. Because honestly, there's no, I mean, it happens. It can, if your circumstances change, that's life. Banks are built to deal with it. They will survive and you can move on. But it's wild to just keep digging in further. Maybe that's their thing, right? Like when things get worse, dig in.
Yeah.
And make it worse.
Maybe there's an exit on the other end.
I came to ask, was Rich Lieberman correct that Colesford is doing this pro bono? So I talked to Rich on the phone last night, and then I was going to talk to him again today, but I had to put that off till Sunday because I had a lot of shit I have to do before I leave in the morning. So my understanding from our conversation was that they represented to him that both attorneys, both David and Josh, were not charging them. Is that true? Probably not. But
wait, who said that?
I guess Ron and Jan, who I guess talked a lot, represented to Rich that the lawyer was working pro bono. Yes,
No,
but I don't think that,
way.
No,
I don't
believe
way. No way. David, maybe he's a fucking idiot, in my opinion. Yeah. Maybe he and had ulterior motives. This guy Josh, I don't think there's any fucking way he's. And I've spoken with lawyers that I'm friends with too, and they don't think it's at all possible he took this pro bono.
Yeah. No. We'll have Rich come and talk. So when I talked to Rich last night, I know a lot of people had asked me about it. He is like he had a very like even temperament, and he was much like different than in his videos. He was just like a normal dude. Like he's funny. Like he's chill. He's not. I know people were saying he was like really eccentric in a couple of his videos yesterday. I did watch them, and I tend to agree. But that's just like his sense of humor, I guess. And he also just like kind of vents off on that stuff. So he was nothing wrong there.
Well, what can they can't say that they paid this guy $125,000-$150,000 because then it's like, well, GoFundMe. Obviously, like you're making a lot of money there. So
how do you make that work without tracing it?
I think it's just a misdirect, right? Like when somebody's asked a direct question and they go, like, are you using the GoFundMe to pay for her legal bills? Oh no, they're not even charging. They haven't even charged. Like you're not really answering the question. You're answering in a different way and you're misdirecting the conversation. Like it's a lie. I'm sorry. In my opinion.
100%.
Yeah. No, I mean I don't think he's working for free. Absolutely not. No.
And I don't think she's getting like a discount.
I don't think that she's the person to choose to work for free.
Can you look at this case and be like, "Oh, this poor girl"? Like, yeah, I'm gonna throw you a bone here.
No.
If he had taken it on for free, he would have bailed by now.
Yeah. Once they get all the evidence, he's gonna be like, "Bye."
Did he remind you that you're a lesbian? No, Erica, I didn't forget yet, but I'll let you know if that happens. Let's see, where else have we got here? Somebody's saying no criminal attorney works for free. Yeah, I don't know anything about that in general, but somebody is asking. Here it is. A start super chat. Jam, thank you for the $2. Is anything owned by Laura, or is it all her family? Tiff, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, no, she doesn't. To my knowledge, doesn't own any real estate. Yeah, it's owned by the family or the LLC.
And she
Mhm.
signed Liz Max over completely to her mom, so she doesn't have any ownership in that anymore. And she did that like what, right after, like a month after the hearing or the trial last year.
She dated it for that, but she didn't actually file it
Wasn't
until
it before,
March.
until March? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't matter because you still can't do it. It doesn't work that way. I mean, here's the deal. Even it's not even a matter of like her part of the LLC being attachable. If any of that money was commingled in any way, it's attachable. All of it's attachable. So, like, if you mixed in your business expenses with your personal expenses,
Right.
then you automatically open up your business to being attachable to a personal lien.
Oh no.
Bummer. I mean, if only you were smart with money. So
And
yeah,
these guys seem great with money, like better than me. Wow.
for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to some of these
Yes.
questions for
I'm
you.
just glad everybody stopped calling her a trust fund baby because that was like my big irritation last year.
Well, she
and I knew
certainly
it wasn't
behaves
true.
like one and lives
She
like
behaves
one.
like one for sure. I think
Yeah.
she was raised like one for sure. Like maybe the
Yeah.
parents put on the facade of like that they had all that money.
Yeah.
And
Oh, it's
she
an
didn't
act,
even
right?
treat it like that.
Like using that special diamond card, right? Like it's a
Mhm.
status thing.
Exactly.
I worked in an area where there were a lot of affluent people. So like I did transactions with like celebrities and athletes and stuff like that. And it's typically not those people that are the jerks, it's the people around them.
Huh.
And so or it's people who think that they have that status and they don't, right? Those are the jerks.
Mhm.
That tracks.
So people with real money don't typically act like that. But
Somebody
They don't
somebody asked kind of a broad question here for you. Can you give this the overall what this means? I mean, I certainly can't. I don't know if you are able to kind of sum that up, but I mean, it sounds complicated to me, but
I just think it's the start of a big mess for them financially. So what their options probably are is to file bankruptcy because that's just my opinion. It depends
Yeah.
on how deep it is. I don't know. My guess is they probably have at least 10 or 12 of those credit cards that are going to start coming due, right? People usually have quite a few. It's gross. But and so I mean if they file bankruptcy, at least that helps with some of that stuff. They're going to run into an issue though because Sarah and her husband signed for those two mortgages. Your house is like exempt in a bankruptcy. The house you live in, they can't like come get it. You can claim it as
Because
exempt.
it's your primary residence.
Right. It has to be your primary residence. Thank you. Yes. However, the debt is not, right? Like you still have to pay the debt. It doesn't go away. So if they can't collect the full amount from Ron and Jan, then they'll start looking at Sarah and her husband for it.
Mhm.
yikes.
Yeah. So that's the concern. Now, this being said, I don't know if Sarah and her husband are on the note. The note and the mortgage are two different documents. A lot of people don't know that. If you're on the deed of the house, you have to sign the mortgages, all of them, even if you're not borrowing the money yourself or putting your credit up for it, because you have to acknowledge that something you own has a lien on it.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
However, I think it's not a far leap to say that they are on the note because why would they be added on the same exact day as the mortgage is being taken out? Because they needed to be added for
Mhm.
credit purposes, right? Like it's
Right.
just,
Right. Almost like cosigners.
yep,
Mhm.
yep. Yeah. So I mean, cosigners become liable in a bankruptcy, so
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
they could actually become creditors. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is very awkward. Yeah, yeah, because
The
if they
child's like,
end up being
you owe me $200,000.
right, because like if the bank comes after them, right, then they could then go turn.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. They probably won't, but it could.
It could. Yeah.
So yeah,
Possibly.
I mean, I didn't answer the question. I know I didn't answer the question because it's a very complex question to answer. Like what the overall, like I said, it's just the beginning of a very messy situation. But believe it or not, we're at the beginning of a very messy situation, right? We're not at the end of it.
What was the
So
approximate total amount of money they've had access to the past few years with all these sketchy loan things? I don't know if you I don't know if you.
Yeah, I did. That's where the 850,000.
Okay.
That's what that number is. And that's me estimating just clean numbers. Basically, I'm taking one loan for its full value and the next loan for its full value. If they paid any down, it could be more than that, but that they got back. But they probably didn't pay much down over a year. But yeah, it's a mess. That, like I said, the hits are going to keep coming, and they need to figure it out.
So your prediction is that they'll file for bankruptcy and Laura as well to avoid having to.
I don't know if Laura will, because there's weird rules about judgments and bankruptcy, right? Like there are certain ways that you, like if let's say she files for bankruptcy and then Clayton comes in and says, hey, wait a minute, no. Like I think she's got money, and here's why I think she's got money or assets that I think I can collect against. She has to prove she doesn't. Like that's a court thing that happens, right? So and they'll look back. They won't just look at what you did in March of 25.
And I know they have some clever ways to I hear there are clever ways in these situations to find the money.
They really are. It's really kind of scary, actually. I've seen the reports that can be pulled, and it's really scary. Like they already have ways to compile all the data on us. It's there, but yeah, it's that there are definitely ways. Now, do people get away with it? Sure. So anyway, I don't see it so much for Laura, because I don't know that she actually has anything besides that judgment really to avoid. But for Ron and Jan, I see it, and I kind of am looking forward to it, because you can get bankruptcy documents and they show everything. And I'm really nosy. Even if I just saw it for myself, I'm just really nosy. Like I want to know. I want to know that I was right. Really, that's all I'm trying to prove. I'm always trying to prove I'm right.
Right.
So I just want to know I was right, and I can shut up about it. It's fine. So yeah, it'll be same thing for Laura. If she files, she'll have to put all this information down. We'll see. But
the total for the GoFundMe, hang on, special MK. So total for GoFundMe is like 130K or something right now.
I think I looked yesterday. Maybe it was 126.
126.
I think. Yeah. So close. Yeah.
If they want to give me some of that, I'll talk about it. I will stop asking questions if you just give me half.
Sorry.
The most recent donation was 1 day ago.
Oh.
Well, I gave them $5 as Chase J. Jones, not to brag, but
I like that level of petty sneakiness. I think that's good.
Probably being a bitch,
It's appropriate.
Well, sometimes you just need to be.
No, that's the default. It's not really a sometimes kind of game for me.
No.
It is my persona.
It is.
Being petty online is my personal crack.
Ooh.
Oh.
Big Teddy or Big Daddy?
What?
Did you say Big Teddy's?
Being petty. Oh my god.
Sounded like you said Big Teddy. I thought that you were going to say that was your Pornhub premium account name.
It is now. But that's my creator account, not my consumer account.
Not your viewer account, your user
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna raise way more than $129,000, Ron. I'd tell you to suck it, but I'm afraid you do it on my channel. All right. 129,886. That's way too much for me to fathom, but okay. Lauren's crack has entered the chat. That's never good. Yeah, I'm having a considerably difficult time controlling my impulsive speech tonight.
Controlling my crack today.
I didn't take my meds today, so we're a little off. Shit happens.
The best way to be.
I considered taking another Adderall before this, but I decided against it because I want to sleep.
It was 9:45, so it's like I'm just gonna be a weirdo. It's fine.
I was awake till I don't know what time last night, talking to everybody. Like, So much to talk about yesterday. It was fun.
Zach, thank you for the $2. Happy Pride Month to the LGBTQ coalition. Is that what we're calling it? Nobody invited me to that one. Thank you.
Right.
LGBBL.
Fuck. That sounds like my people. All right. Texas Proud. I find this educational, especially for retired people and the ones getting close, because it's important to adjust income/expenses.
That's what I said last year when it was really bothering me about these patterns that I saw them repeat from San Francisco, right? Like we all know, I have chronic illness, I have MS, and I know eventually, like I'm not working until retirement age. I know that. That's my retirement's a much sooner date in my world. So yeah, I mean, could we afford a new house? Sure. Do I think that's a great idea right now? No. I'm just gonna stay where we're at in our tiny little house, and I'm gonna drag this walker all over the house, screaming at everybody until I can walk again. But
Well.
but yeah, I don't understand somebody. I mean, I think they're like 20 plus years older than me, at least, right? And I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
I mean,
I've always thought it was just to keep up appearances, like in that whatever the circle that they were involved with, and the people he would interview and wanting to look like a big shot, like they were rich, like they had money, and they just remind me of people who don't accept the fact that they don't have that anymore, or maybe they never did, and they're gonna just claw until the last fucking nail is ripped off their hand, fighting to hold up that image.
So I don't know if anybody's gone down this rabbit hole before, like I did maybe a year ago, but so like the San Francisco house, if you look a little hard on the internet, all the pictures are still live from when it was sold.
Mm-hmm.
Which is rare. Like that doesn't usually happen. Usually they take those down. It was staged nicely, very nicely. It was definitely staged.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at some other photos, like it was staged for sure. Gorgeous place. Like I
there
said,
are photos of like Ron and sitting in a chair that overlooks
yeah,
the background is the bridge and whatnot. So you've seen what their stuff looked like.
Right. Definitely. And it's definitely not the same stuff in those beautiful listing photos. And then, we see the body cam footage. Thank you. Schnitzel, thank you. And I feel like they maybe bought all the furniture that came with us. Or was, maybe separately bought it, but it doesn't seem like, I don't know why you would decorate the same exact way as the listing photos. But
just really liked it.
Like, oh, this is Southwest. This is great. We're gonna dig our heels in again, and we're gonna go for it, right? All in. Yeah, like it's just that's kind of funny to me because like I'll drag my lazy boys, to wherever. Like I just can't imagine scrapping everything and starting over.
Yeah.
And because again, I don't think those are smart moves. But
hang on. Redondo Beach, thank you for being a member for 4 months. The hardest working woman on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I certainly try. I feel like slacking a little bit for the last month and a half because I've been out of town for the better part of it. So I've been at home for like a week in the last 6 weeks. So yeah, I haven't been as fast as I usually am, but I'm certainly trying. So when I get back tomorrow, I'm going to probably stick around for at least a couple weeks and try to get back on track. We'll see. But thank you.
I think you've been doing great.
Cat Lady Ballerina, aka Lord of the effing spreadsheets.
You can say fucking on this stream. I don't care.
Oh, yay! Said that she bought a bunch of new furniture when she bought her house because moved from a 400 square foot apartment to 1,100 square foot house. Yeah, that's typically what you would do when you upsize, but when you downsize, not so much. I mean, I think that San Francisco was like 4 levels. Like it was a big house on top of that.
Nice
interesting.
house.
I want a laundry chute and a dumbwaiter in my house to save me from doing the stairs all the time.
We're
That's
putting
so
ours
much fun.
upstairs. We're putting our laundry upstairs. We're not
Oh.
doing that no more. That's yeah.
Omar's is upstairs. Just thought everyone should know that for some reason.
I don't know why. Like I don't know why all of a sudden somebody had that genius idea. It's a genius idea. Why wouldn't it be upstairs? Like it makes sense.
I hate carrying it down
Mm-hmm.
the stairs. And then you got to fold it and carry it the fuck back
Carry
up.
it back up. Like it should be upstairs. That makes
Mhm.
so much more sense.
Yeah.
Everything is
Wow.
downstairs in my house except for the attic that I stream in, and like I have the work desk on the other side. So like upstairs is just like where I go for pain and suffering. So I don't need the laundry upstairs.
Oh well, when I say upstairs in this house, I mean upstairs first level. We have one level, basement, and then
I don't have a we can't have basements because it'll just flood.
Right.
But
Oh,
we
yeah.
have attics.
yeah, we have
I live on, like,
basements.
right there. There's a lake right there. I would just drown in my basement if I had a basement. So. Which it sounds appealing on some days, but I don't have a basement, so I can't.
Well, you can come to my house and drown in mine. That's where I am right now.
Will you hold my head down?
If you want.
I do.
Then yes.
We took a turn.
Hot.
Oh, the Seacliff house was 3,000 square feet, I think. Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I would actually, honestly, maybe guess a little more, but I could be wrong.
I have no sense of measurement. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's big.
It's big. It's
Okay.
big.
Got it.
Yeah,
I don't know what like
Yeah,
a
like, I
normal
mean-
house is,
it's big.
Especially once like the girls moved out and it was just the two of them in there.
I mean, yeah, like a 2-bedroom apartment, for example, is typically like, I don't know, anywhere between 1,000 and 1,200 square feet, typically. So, yeah.
Oh.
Mm,
So that is big. Shit.
yeah.
Hmm.
The Scottsdale house is 3,000 square feet, so it's the same size. I mean, it's like, okay, this is where I have issues with math because it's flatter, so I think it's smaller. But it
Oh,
is
okay.
sprawled out. It is sprawled out, and I don't know if you include the casita. I don't know, but yeah, I think the San Francisco house was bigger, but I could be wrong.
So for like somebody who knows nothing, totally not me, someone else. What if they declare bankruptcy? What happens next?
So like the laws changed. I don't know. Maybe I'm old. It's been 20 years, maybe now. But where you used to have a choice of filing Chapter 7, which was like you wanted to wipe out all your debt and start over, or Chapter 13, where you would come to an agreement with all your creditors and you would pay one fee to the bankruptcy court and they would make payments. And you would have this, lifetime, or not lifetime, but you'd have this very long structured payment plan. They don't so much make it a choice anymore as they say, okay, you have to try Chapter 13 first. You have to try to make agreements with your creditors. And then if you fail at that, or if you prove that you can't meet those standards to do it, then you're allowed to file for Chapter 7, which will wipe out a lot of debt. But it doesn't always wipe out everything. I mean, your creditors can still come and challenge, your ability to write off certain kinds of debt. So especially like what you'll see is like somebody knows they're going to be filing and they have, so many credit cards and they'll like rack up a bunch of charges right before they file. And creditors have an issue with that, right? Like it's not
people
like
are on to my future scam, I guess.
yeah, right. I mean, so they're a little hip to that stuff, right? Like they look at the history and they'll come looking for the furniture you just bought and shit like that. So it can be a little tangled, but a lot of times it's just pretty standard. You tell everybody about it. You got to make sure you notify all your creditors. They have the right to challenge it. If they don't, you just start fresh. But again, that mortgage stays. You still have to make payments on the mortgage. They might be able to like stop like they wouldn't have to make payments on the home equity line, the second mortgage.
Right.
But it still stays there until they sell that house, or if they could go after, like I said, Sarah and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah's a mystery to me, so that kind of sucks. Though I guess depending on, I don't know how involved she was in all this, so I can't say if I really think it sucks that much. But I don't know. It kind of sucks, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I have a different outlook. Like, they're adults.
Yeah.
They're adults, and they well, I mean, one's maybe questionable, but they signed their names to it.
Yeah.
So it
Mhm.
can't. I don't know. I have a hard time with
I
it.
got you. No, that's fair.
But
Snitzel-
I mean,
Go ahead.
people do what they can for their family sometimes, and that's taken advantage of.
Absolutely, all the time. Yeah. Snitzel Ninja, this is for you.
Tiff Dog is a catch, so this channel must be great if she's here. People in court.
Gosh, I love people in court. She's my friend.
Well, that's awesome.
So
Thank you,
great.
people in court. And Tiff is a catch.
Aw. That's
Okay,
super nice.
the tats that come from your channel are somehow weirder than mine. Do you shave your bush? I'm sorry. What?
No, that's not me. That's definitely not me.
It depends on what's funny to say. I don't know what month
I
it is.
wasn't intending for you to answer that, but I guess you're going to. I don't know why.
It goes by the seasons, obviously.
Oh God.
I didn't even tell her I was on here. That's nice. I did tell my physical. Oh, hi Kim, if you're watching, my physical therapist. I told her about it today. I got her hooked right in.
Wait,
Kim,
is that
sorry.
Omar trolling under an alt? Easy to love me 69.
That would
Oh my
be
God, I
funny.
didn't even notice the username.
That
Wow.
would be funny.
I'm not sure that's not you, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure I probably know who it is.
Oh, okay. Well, my first guess would have been you, but it's your chat. So I just-
Just rating myself.
Seasonably. Okay. How likely is it they'll go after Sarah? What did you say to that one? I can't remember.
Oh, they'll go after her. It's likely. If Rana and Jan try to include that in a bankruptcy and stop paying on it, they'll go after her. They'll absolutely go after her.
Whoever they can to get the money, because they just care
yeah.
about getting the money.
Yeah, and they'll sue them like the credit card did. They'll sue them because when you do that, it kind of becomes an unsecured loan. It's weird the way they have to collect on it. I should say it becomes unsecured until the house is sold. But they could absolutely come after her for it, and then that means garnishing her wages, and I don't know. It's not pretty. It would cause some issues.
Yeah.
Show us the fun bags, baby. Okay.
Oh geez.
Did you get that? You're welcome.
Yeah, totally.
You showed up in the private chat.
Let's see. Oh, fake Laura Owens, thank you for $2. When we lose it all, we don't have anything. That's not true. You have your horse shit.
I have seen your Poshmark account. You do that stuff. It's old and
She
crazy.
has a couple saddles in there somewhere. I'm not sure. And a feral cat that she named after me, apparently. So that's sweet.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
So I just
That's
wanted to
funny.
make sure while we're getting
feel like
kind of go ahead.
I feel like I had so much to say and tell everybody, and tonight I hit all my points that I made
I know
notes
what you
on.
mean.
I don't know. Feel
I
like
mean,
I'm
you
missing
did.
something.
You've done more than a good job. I mean, I don't feel bad. Obviously, I don't think you missed anything really, but I obviously don't understand any of this either.
So was Jan then a co-signer on the credit card, or she was like an approved user?
So I think that based on, and we didn't read the document fully, but the way it reads, I think that they're trying to claim that she has an obligation under it being like joint spousal debt, because
Mhm. That makes
that's
sense.
almost literally how they worded it, right, in the
Okay.
complaint.
Yeah, right. Plus spouse.
So yeah.
Jingo's spouse.
But I mean, when you're married, basically whatever you have is joint anyway. So if they take something from him, then it's coming from her too.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Some people do split. That's a poll I would like to do. People split like bank accounts. My husband and I were talking about this the other day. Like a lot of his coworkers and stuff, they have different, like they have an account and their spouse has an account, a bank account, and their checks each go into the separate accounts, and they pool their money for bills, but like they keep their money separate. I don't know, maybe I've been married too long, but it seems so complicated. Like, why?
That would we? I guess my husband and I have separate bank accounts,
Okay.
but we don't have a joint one. I'll just say like Venmo me some money.
So you don't have to tell me, but I'm assuming like you pay some bills, he pays others, and it just evens out in whatever way it needs to.
Yeah, and it's like no one's keeping track of who spent how much money or whatever. A lot of the stuff I'm buying is for our son anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, we
Or at
don't
least
like
that's what I pass it off as.
we don't like, you know, question each other or look at that. Like we might talk about it, like I'm buying this or that, but not in a permission way. But yeah, we just I don't know. Like I said, I think we've just been together too long.
If you barter down with the credit card, the differential of what's written off will be considered income tax. Is that true?
I know that's true for a mortgage. I mean, I think it could technically be true, yeah. Because
Well, that sucks.
yeah, right? I mean, is the IRS going to figure it out? Probably not. But don't quote me on that. I think if you do it a lot, right? Like if you do it to some pretty hefty accounts. Like I was saying yesterday that, I mean, yeah, they have a sizable house or whatever value-wise, but I mean, I looked at a set of bankruptcy docs last month that the house was worth $5 million and it was exempt, right? Like it wasn't, it could be excluded from the bankruptcy. So, I mean, it happens. It's all relative, right? My point is they'd probably look a little closer at that person.
Sure.
They're not looking at the smaller stuff.
Let's see if we got anything else here.
Yeah, so everybody, there's several people that do that. The joint accounts.
Fake Laura Owens, thank you for the $10. Suck it, beaches. I'm gonna beaches. Oh, it won't let you type bitches, will it? Suck it, bitches. I'm gonna say it for you though. Suck it, bitches. I'm gonna be super rich soon. I met a Nigerian prince online. He's coming here next month after he receives my next money order.
That's where the 850 went. I see now.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, thank
He's
you for
never
sharing
Facebooked
that.
with me though. Just talked over the phone.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. What was somebody saying about the executor? Wait.
Plenty of sucking. Oh god. Okay. What? Something about an executor? What was that?
Yeah, what did Erica say? I can't scroll for some reason.
Erica. Yeah.
The last thing I saw from Erica was
if Sarah ends up executor, which I'm not sure about, that's what Echo said.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody tagged Erica in it, and I don't know what Erica said.
Erica said, "How does this affect things if one or both passed?" And then
Oh,
it becomes an estate problem.
Okay.
yeah. I mean, well, if either Ron or Jan pass, the credit card might become an issue. Chase would probably be screwed, but if it was Ron, but like all of this mortgage problem and everything else, I mean, nothing changes that. It's Jan's problem. You kind of inherit stuff from your spouse, especially when you co-sign with everybody. So
What if she kicks it too?
I mean, and that honestly, probably the best bet and please guys, listen to me when I say this for Laura and Sarah, walk away from it. Walk away from it. Let it go. Set it on fire and walk. Well, don't set it on fire, but walk away from it.
We're citing you for advice on that one.
That's a bad idea.
Just in your mind.
Because here's the deal: like they can't come after you for your parents' debt. Well, they can come after Sarah and her husband, I guess, but they probably won't if they get the house, right? They probably won't collect on the difference. So I would just walk away from it, or sign an agreement saying, "Hey, we're gonna sweep everything up. We're gonna give it to you nice and clean. We're not gonna destroy anything. Here's the keys." I call it cash for keys, and they might even get like $5,000 out of it.
But Laura's going to be like, she's going to negotiate. Like, can I still live in the casita?
Casita? Oh, God. Was
funny.
David going to move to the main house? Who the fuck would live on that property with Laura in the casita?
Maybe we'll for a casita on his
The police would be there all the time.
For all different kinds of reasons.
So many reasons.
So that house, the San Francisco house was 3,400 square feet. That's so funny to me because our house before we downsized, our house was 3,600 square feet. And it just doesn't seem like it was as big as the picture. I know pictures make things look bigger, but I'm surprised by that. Oh well, thank you for that, Debbie.
How much is that house worth now today?
I did not look at that. I don't think it's much more. I think the last time I looked, it was like 3.8, maybe. But I don't think since that, maybe it was more.
I looked one
San
at
Francisco.
said
San
8.
Francisco is this weird pocket. We call it a pocket, where like the way values shift is different than everywhere else in certain pockets, because like San Francisco is already expensive, right? It's already high up there. So you don't see those big shifts in value like you do in other places. I want to say when I looked it up last time, it was like maybe 3.8 or 4.2. It was more, but not like a crazy amount.
Astronomically, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Callie asked me to check something. Laura comes with a house. Yeah, okay.
So K-Dub said takes about 14 months for the foreclosure. That's good. Yeah, that's about right. It depends on the state, but I've been dealing with this way of trying to explain a deed of trust versus a mortgage, because in my mind they are literally the same thing. But I found a really cool way to explain it today online, so I'm glad that got brought up. When you have a deed of trust, it basically makes it easier for the bank to foreclose faster because there's a third party involved. Like it's this weird little technicality that's the only difference, but it's a mortgage. A deed of trust is still pretty much the same thing as a mortgage, just some different legalities. Yeah.
Are Ron and Jan active in social circles? Schnitzel, that's your chat. Do you have any insight into that? I have no idea.
No idea. So. I mean, I know that Ron goes to those baseball games.
Oh? What does that mean? I don't know anything about that.
San Francisco, like the Giants games.
Oh.
He likes baseball. What?
Well, now? I mean,
now, yeah, even like last year he posted a picture of himself at one with people. So, but I don't know how often he goes out. Yeah. You know, I can't imagine Jan has any friends. But who knows?
Tiff, didn't you say something about Ron being hospitalized and told he had 6 months to live may have had something to do with the financial decisions that they made?
Oh, so yeah, well, it was, I mentioned it in, thank you to Jen, by the way, and oh gosh, hey Rob, and Mamas and Nanas, like all the people that helped Ivy, all the documentation and research. Ooh, you guys are amazing. Because it helped me put everything together. Like there's some things I can find myself totally. There are other things that people gave me and said, here, figure it out. And I did, and I loved it. Or other people even figured it out and told me what it meant. So I dig that. Thank you guys for that. Anyway, the power of attorney. So I actually, one of the mortgages has a weird signature on it. Okay, let's just say that it's got a weird signature. It's Sarah's signature. It's weird. It's not like any of the other things she ever signed. And the other part about it, so I analyze real estate documents all day long, and I know the key things to look at. The other weird part of that specific document is the notary signature is also different than it was on a prior document. And I mean, very different. So when people like make certain loops and stuff in their name when they're signing, they don't typically change those patterns over time, especially in an 8-month period. Anyway,
no, but there was an earthquake that day, right at that time.
Right. I think that that situation probably could have happened because Ron was in the hospital and they just couldn't get a signature fast enough. That's what I think maybe could have happened. Because I can see them saying, oh, we don't have time to do all this. He's going to die any minute now. We need to get this done, blah, blah, blah. And kind of skirted the rules, so to speak. So, and do I think even if it is flat out fraud, will anything come of it? No, it rarely does. And sad part of my industry is it rarely does. I've seen people literally steal from their relatives and nothing comes of it.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry, my
Debbie,
sister's
I get what you're saying, but we just like it. We can get in trouble on YouTube for putting out for like doxing people. So
We're not
we don't
trying to do that. No.
Yeah, it is. That's why we say go find it yourself because it's there.
Mhm.
I mean, you get in trouble when you don't dox people. Apparently, it's cyberbullying. So, not to brag, but apparently, I've managed to fuck that up, even though it was redacted. So,
Yeah, that's crazy.
So dumb.
I love
Yeah.
auto mod.
Yeah.
Yeah, CJ, you can't DocuSign. Typically, there's these weird requirements with notaries. Things that have to be notaries and things that have to be notarized aren't typically allowed to be robotically signed. There was a period during COVID that a lot of states allowed it, but not so much anymore. It should be a thing because it's very secure, but people are still afraid of it.
Janet loves listening to you talk. I just
Oh my God. I'm gonna can somebody screenshot that for me?
There you go.
I hate my voice.
Somebody send this to Tiff, please.
Please. Somebody send that to me, please. I hate my voice. I really do. I just can't stand it. So I don't even know. Like I feel like maybe it's Fran Drescher, but a really bad version of Fran Drescher in my head.
No, your
Like-
voice is much sweeter sounding.
It sounds perfectly normal to me, man. So.
Everybody says that, but I don't believe them. I'm like, you guys are all lying. It's okay. Don't.
I mean,
have to worry
everybody's
about
got
it.
something that they think is crazy, like crazy weird that nobody else sees. You know,
Yeah. Well,
like everybody has
read
something.
I read somewhere like you'll never hear your voice the way other people hear it. Like even when you hear it recorded, it's not the same in your auditory reception. Yeah.
True.
So I don't know. I'm sorry.
You
to
sound better
everybody.
than Laura Owens trying to sing or gargle, apparently. So
I don't know about
whatever that means.
I don't.
He's a very auto-tuned country singer, in case you guys weren't aware of that.
It actually came up as one of my like suggested or recommended
Yeah, me
videos.
too. Like recently, I was like, "Why
Like
is this
tonight.
popping up here?"
I had to start looking up people like whenever I watch a court hearing, I start looking for people on Facebook because it's fun to look for people, right? And then I started like they showed up in my people you may know.
Yeah, and then you'll go theirs too.
Right. No, thank you. No, so I had to use my alt to start doing it. I want people know when I'm looking for them. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I worked for like a really super smart real estate attorney when I first started in the industry back in the 90s. And he's still very, very smart and very good in our industry. And he always told us if you can explain it to somebody, if you can't explain it to somebody as if they are a 6-year-old, then you don't know what you're talking about. Like he was very blunt, right? Like you don't understand it yourself if you can't explain it. So he focused on like having us tell stories to relate to things, so we could explain them better. He said people will remember the story. They won't remember the lesson as much as they'll remember the story, and they'll accidentally remember the lesson. So
Yeah.
Something up. I just want before we wrap up here, I want to make sure everybody hears Clayton say "blowjob babies" himself, because I don't think I should.
I love that you have it queued up.
I did. I was like doing that while people were talking about stuff I didn't understand. So that's usually what's going on in my brain. Okay, if you haven't seen this interview with Clayton, I'm going to put a link to it. We didn't talk too much about. We barely talked about Laura because I didn't want to talk about Laura. She's
no, yeah,
boring.
that's good.
Well, I'll put this in the chat here, but I just wanted everyone to because I was going over this and I was trying to like cut it down into smaller pieces, and I was like, oh, he actually said blowjob babies. So yeah, here we go. Right now, so
Yeah, and
I'm all purple, but it's purple in here. I'll give you. But,
all
you
over,
know, I can't complain otherwise.
all over blowjob babies. I'm like, that's
Oh no.
y'all got connected over blowjob babies. How about that? That's
Yeah, I'm gonna start introducing him that way. Actually, I just thought that was funny. Everybody always says blowjob babies. Like, oh, Clayton actually just said blowjob babies.
I don't know if I've ever seen someone say blowjob babies with such a nice smile. on their
Right?
face.
My entire physical therapy office, like it's all open. So I was talking about Laura and everything today. And like, oh, one of the guys had heard about it. Like one of the physical therapists, he's like, what are you looking at? Because she was looking at your channel on YouTube. And he's like, I know about that. And I'm like, wait, what? I go, you know about Clayton? He goes, yeah, I know about that. I'm like, no way. I go, those are my people. Yeah. But we had a good time about the blowjob babies. We had,
Yeah,
we had a
right.
good
right.
yeah.
All right,
That was
guys.
my-
Well, I feel like I gotta get to bed because I have to put stuff in my car first, and I gotta get up early tomorrow morning to get out before the rain. And then also, they're having a 4th of July, so I have to be out of here by 10. But they're closing down the main road on the island at 10 for a 4th of July parade. First of all, who wants to go to a 4th of July parade at 10 in the morning here?
No, fuck.
Second, there's only one way out. What do you want me to do? Check out and sit in the parking lot for 4 hours? What do you want me to do? So I have to get up early. So I'm going to wrap it up here. But thanks everyone for joining us. And thank you, Tiff. Again, I'm sure everybody seems to have really enjoyed that. And I obviously really needed your help. So thank you.
No problem. I'm sure I'll have a bunch of questions on the back end.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that was great.
We'll get you back soon. So
Sounds like plan. Dig it.
all right. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.